Hi there, Dean Linnell here with the Linnell Group at the Whistler Real Estate Company, and today I'm taking you through the 2017 Whistler Real Estate statistics. Okay, let's jump right into things here with dollar volume of sales for the past 5 years, from 2013 to 2017. You can see the volume has risen significantly over the past 5 years, and you can see also that chalets have taken a big jump just in the past year to 2 years. Let's move on through these slides as quickly as we can, and we'll take you over to unit sales of volume. Over the past 5 years again, you can see the units sold have really jumped up year on year, with a peak in 2016 of just over 1,000 units sold, and that's comprised of sales in townhomes, condos, duplex, shared ownership, which is quarter shares, including timeshares, and then you've got vacant land and chalets. Now, if you go to the next slide, we'll see the dollar volume of sales over the past 10 years, and this is very telling. It just shows us that the bottom of our market really was in 2009, 2010, 2011, started to go up from there, and then the past 2 years really have jumped in terms of the volume of sales up to a big high in 2017. Now we move over to unit sales volume, and you can see that the sales volume, or as we like to say, the number of sales that have happened, dropped over the past year. So in 2017, that's a factor of a shrinking inventory, not as much to sell, and so we only did about 850 actual sales, and that's in total for 2017 versus a little over 1,000 in 2016. Moving forward, unit volume of sales as a pie graph. You can see here again in 2017, this is all broken out with townhouses being a big chunk of the market in terms of actual number of sales, 36%, condos, 256 sales, and chalets, 151. And you can see the shared ownership piece of the puzzle there as 86 sales, only 10% of the market. Now, the distinction is in townhomes, a townhouse is a building that's got several units in it, and they all have exterior doors. So something like North Star or Sunpath, or the condos up at Blackcomb, Snowberry, something like that, the Woods, they have exterior doors. So that's the difference between a condo and a townhouse. A condo is more like the Aspens, where you go into a lobby, up the elevator, down the hall to your suite. And it kind of feels a bit like a hotel in a condo. So that's the difference there. Now we move forward to the dollar volume of sales. Obviously, with chalets being more expensive than most townhomes and condos, the dollar volume is bigger on chalets. So there you go with 42% there, and townhomes at 29%, and condos at 19%. Moving down to chalet dollar volume. As prices have risen for chalets, we're now up to 2017, we saw $428 million worth of chalet sales in Whistler. Contrast that back to 2013, when sales were on chalets were quite a bit lower, and also the chalets were not worth as much as they are today. Now going forward to chalet unit sales, again, it has flattened out in chalets just a little bit in the past 2 years, mainly because there have been less properties for sale, less homes for sale. Moving forward to chalet unit sales, you can see this is a really interesting segment of the market. As the market has risen, in 2013 you can see homes under $1 million. There were 53 sales of homes under $1 million, and then between $1 million and $2 million there were 58 in 2013. But as values have risen, in 2017 we only sold a grand total of 6 homes under $1 million, 48 between $1 and $2 million, and there was a big jump in homes over 2 million. 73 sales in 2017 for homes over $2 million. The pie graph shows you chalet unit sales in a pie graph, obviously. $1 to $2 million, 73 sales, 57% of the market. 5% of the market was under $1 million with those 6 sales, and then the high end of the market, 2 million and beyond, there were 48 sales and 38% of the market. Now we move over to townhouse dollar volume, and you can see the same type of a trend where townhomes are valued higher and higher over the years, and so we've got quite a bit more dollar volume in townhomes in 2017. You can also see the trend in sales with shrinking inventory. There have been less sales, only 256 sales of townhomes in Whistler in 2017, contrasted with a high in 2016 of 294 sales. Moving to the next slide, we've got townhouse unit sales over the past 5 years. So this gives you a flavor for where the pricing's been. So under 500,000 has shrunken right down to 16 sales under 500,000 in townhomes in Whistler, and 111 between $500,000 and $1 million, and over $1 million to $2 million we had 88, so the same as last year. And we had a little bit of a jump in townhomes over $2 million at 19 in 2017. Next, we have a pie graph of the same type of information there, just in a pie graph. Moving forward to condo dollar volume, you can see again the trend really jumped 2016 and 2017 with 181 million in dollar volume for 2016 and 187 million in 2017. Bumping forward to condos now. So condos, again, remember, they are lobby, elevator, down the hall to your suite. So very much a hotel type of a feel. You've got the Aspens, you've got other buildings in town that are condos that are similar. Now we move through that. You can see 388 sales in 2016 and only 313 sales in 2017. You go all the way back to 2013, we only did 192 sales. The market was slower in 2013 and before that. Same data in a pie graph. And moving towards the average values now. So average values, you can see the lines have really shot up, especially in chalets. You can see where the average value of a chalet is right around $2.8 million. And vacant land, they have gone up. Vacant land average is about 1.6 and a bit. And then townhomes, the average value of a townhome in Whistler for 2017 spiked to $1.1 million. And then condos, of course, they start at around $600,000 for a condo, and that's what we're seeing here. The next is the median values, and that tosses out the highest sale as well as the lowest sale in each range. And so you can see in the vacant land numbers, there's a dip. And that is likely because of the sales that have occurred at Wedgwoods, just north of Whistler. There are some large sales there, and that's something that we might find that gets tossed out, or a small lower end sale gets tossed out, then that affects the numbers. Now moving over to a really interesting chart, and I get this question from people a lot, is where do the buyers come from? So the Whistler purchaser origin, we keep track of this. We've done it year after year since going way back into the 90s. And you can see in 2017, most of the buyers came from either Whistler, Vancouver, Greater Vancouver, North Shore, Fraser Valley. And so it looks like it's, if you look at 30, 50, doing some math here, 60, it's about 70% of the market comes from either within Whistler, which would be people trading up or trading down who live here. and then also Vancouver, of course. So it's the rubber tire traffic. Now, if you look through to where everyone else comes from, then you've got USA at 8%. And USA is comprised mostly, that number is mostly Seattle. It's basically everything north of the Space Needle. So we've got a lot of buyers from there. And then if you look across the globe, you've got UK at 1%, Southeast Asia, Hong Kong, Mexico is up and coming with 1%, and there's some other information in there as well. So that's a really interesting pie graph for if you didn't know where the purchasers come from. That's it right there. Now you can see where the different companies in town stack up, and this is pretty interesting. You can see REC is the Whistler Real Estate Company, and that's my company, and we have the lion's share of the market in terms of percentage of dollar volume compared to Sutton, Sotheby's, Thornhill Real Estate, McDonald, Tantalus, and Remax. So we have always occupied the biggest space in the market in Whistler. And if you move to the next one, percentage of sold ends, very similar numbers. We have done 43% of the buyers and sellers in the entire market, and we're only followed by Remax at 21 and Thornhill at 18. And this is the same in a bar chart. And you can see this is really interesting with the active listings over the past 10 years. You can see in 2010, that's really where the market kind of bottomed out, and that equates with the number of listings on the market. We had over 1,000 listings on the market, and today we're sitting at about 180 active listings, and that's why prices have spiked, and that's why it is a seller's market, is because there's nothing for sale. Now moving forward, this is the median sale price versus the number of sales. You can see the numbers there in the gray. That's the number of sales, and the median sales price has spiked up, and you see them cross over. And going forward, dollar volume versus the median price. You can see that as well. And listings to sales comparison. So this is an interesting one where you can see in gray the number of listings have dramatically dropped off, and the number of sales have started to drop off as well just over the past year and a half. So hopefully that helped you out, and hope you enjoyed what we've done here and pulled all this information together. Our company is the only company that does an exhaustive interpretation of the data for real estate statistics in Whistler year after year. No other company pulls together the material like this. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about real estate in Whistler, certainly let me know. I'm here for you whenever you need me.